number 1 of our final round of Swiss here at the 250th YCS.
There's no snake eyes. No snake eyes.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I'm only rolling one die
Excellent.
forever.
Very good.
Still a 1 though. Half a snake eyes might be a bad omen.
Now this is really good for Roman because in this particular matchup, Naturia Beast can be just game on its own. So getting this first turn to set things up ahead of time is gonna be vital.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, this matchup probably does favor Michael a little bit if he's able to go first and establish, but he isn't going first.
He chose to go second.
Devastating. He doesn't know how good the matchup might be for him. But Runic Dispelling is going to summon Hugin. Now Hugin's going to discard. It is the Naturia Sacred Tree. This is the classic opening here for the Naturia Runic deck.
We're going to get Fountain, and then a new chain, Sacred Tree, is going to trigger, pick up a Naturia.
See if he goes for Camilla or Mole Cricket.
Goes for Camellias. And he's got everything he needs except, you know, another runic spell, basically.
I think I might have caught a glimpse of a Slumber in his hand. And here comes the normal summon of the Camilla.
That's going to activate, send another copy of Sacred Tree to the graveyard.
That will let him add a Naturia card. Could be a monster or spell trap, I believe, but probably want to go for Naturia's Blessing.
I still need a level 1.
Next up, it looks like he's thinking about using that Blessing to summon from his hand. Yep.
Special summons the level 1, that's the Mole Cricket.
First tree searched Camellia, right? And the second one searched, right. I'll use effective cricket. I'm gonna to instead.
So now he can use the Mole Cricket's effect. Normally has a tribute, but since the Camilla is on the field, he can send the top 2 cards from the deck to the graveyard to use that effect instead. Ooh, sends a Kurikuri Divinicarnate in the main deck.
And Runic Tip as well.
I love Kurikuri Divinicarnate. I want to just use it and just destroy all my opponent's monsters. Really good against decks like Kashtira. A lot of cards are good against Kashtira.
Yeah, even if you have like everything just going against you, as long as you have at least 1 monster zone available, you can get him with Kurikara.
It's definitely a really cool card. And now we're going to see a Synchro Summon. Looks like it's going to be Naturia Beast, which is going to be devastating here for Roman. He's probably regretting going second.
This is Beast, Sunflower, bring back the Mole Cricket. You've got Hugin, you've got Fountain, you've got a Runic spell. I don't see how we're getting out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, I go second Sky Striker, a familiar strategy. A lot of players, have been doing that for years. I mean, with Mystic Mind being around, that was a big way they got back into the game while they went second and just, amassed the card advantage through Kagari and Shizuku. But now that Naturia Beast is running around again, that could really backfire on you. And to have it happen in the last round could be devastating.
Yep.
Now he's decided if he wants to reveal his strategy, or maybe...
I think he's already revealed his strategy. Between the Engage sleeves, the Kagari sleeves.
Oh, he has the answer.
And choosing to go second. He has the answer, but there's a Sunflower on the field, is there not?
Yeah.
Looks like it does resolve and negate the Naturia Beast, so now he's going to be able to play. Goes for Pot of Prosperity.
Sunflower really does monster effects, right?
I think so, yeah. I think it might just be monster effects and for the rest of the turn. So he definitely still has points of disruption to disrupt Roman from being able to do too much. Looks like he's only going for 3 from the Pot of Prosperity.
Yeah, that's monster effects. I'm getting my Sunflowers and my Bamboo Shoots mixed up.
I love Bamboo Shoot. That's one of my favorite Naturia monsters. It's tough to deal with once it gets out there. And we're going to show Widow Anchor, and Infinite Impermanence. So all 3 cards basically do the same thing. But Widow Anchor is a spell card, so that helps out a ton. The cool thing about Pot of Prosperity and Sky Striker is you're wanting to get more spells in your graveyard so you can get that Sky Striker mobilized engage online. Another Naturia I like is Rose Whip, which kind of like there's a total Shogun Shien, limiting your opponent to only activating one spell or trap card. That's another good one. But it looks like he has Gamma in his hand.
Mole Cricket's tributed to activate its effect, but Psy Frame Gear Gamma hits. And he's going to chain
Shark Cannon.
Shark Cannon to take out.
Just wanting to use the Shark Cannon before he puts monsters in the main monster zone where he won't be able to activate it.
All right. All of a sudden, things are looking a little good. Now it's a little more on Michael to see what sort of, what has he got in his hand in terms of the runic spells.
Probably go back in.
Yeah, he does still have that Runic Fountain face up on the field,
Yeah,
so being able to activate them from the hand
sure.
could be huge for him here. See, does he have his favorite card in his hand?
Yep, normal summon Ray.
So to go to battle?
Driver is stronger than Naturia Beast here.
Go Driver into Beast.
Ciphering Gear Gamma has been a huge card this weekend. We've seen it in a lot of main decks. With the mandatory trigger effect of Justira Rise Heart, it's been a card a lot of players have been focusing on. But it looks like Michael's going to use Slumber to protect his Naturia Beast from being destroyed by battle.
Banishes 3 cards face up as well.
Reveals that he is main decking copies of Nibiru.
It's half damage though.
Oh, yeah.
Half damage from Pot of Prosperity.
7850.
Yeah.
Resolution. Fountain effect. Draw 3.
1, 2, 3. He dumped a couple of those runic spells in the graveyard with his other effects. So he's got 3 in there to get the full 3 draws.
Damage got very resolved with Fountain this time.
Yeah, that's the thing when you're playing as Runic. You feel like you've finally gotten the game to balance out and you broke back into it. But then as soon as they get that 3 draws from a Runic Fountain.
Now, I think he might have messed up the sequencing here, right? I heard them talking about calculating the damage.
Well, because this would.
So Runics,
Fountain would have to activate.
you can't
on,
use. I don't think you can
resolution of this
use.
And then we already did.
Oh, you say he's trying. He wanted to finish the chain, but already did the damage from the battle, so he missed his opportunity to trigger the Runic Fountain on the field.
This can't
Yeah, I
activate
think
now.
that's what the argument that's going on is. But the other thing is that Runic Fountain is not the type of trigger effect that can activate in the damage step.
How many left in hand, by the way? Do you have anything left?
What was that? 2? Yeah.
Yeah, Slumber can't be activated in the damage step either. So if he uses Slumber, then does the battle damage, he's way past the point where he can activate Fountain here. So that is a huge error.
Saying I missed the activation. What?
The activation window?
Yep, definitely a slight misstep here from Michael's side of things, but I mean, I still think this would be something on my YCS bingo card. Seeing Sky Striker defeat a Naturia Beast.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't defeated it yet. Slumber has
I'm hoping
it around.
Yeah, not quite just yet. But just in general, it looks like you might be taking a moment here to appeal the timing activation of when he used it. But yeah, interesting.
So there are a few things to note here. First off, Runic Slumber cannot be activated in the damage step.
Yeah.
Second thing is, Runic Fountain must be activated in the first possible chain immediately after the chain in which the runic spell you activated resolves.
Exactly.
Third thing is, we overheard them discussing the damage and applying it.
Yep, we saw that. I mean, how much damage did that? You even said half damage from the Pot of Prosperity, even.
Prosperity, they got the numbers down. Given all that information, if everything is presented as true and correct, I would rule that you've already gone past it, you're in the damage step, and you've resolved this attack.
That is, I think I would lean to that as well. It does seem kind of be the case for this game. Hopefully they're able to resolve it quickly. But, I mean, coming into this last round, I have a lot of rogue decks on my radar, like Rika, even like a Punk, Gold Pride kind of thing, maybe could sneak into the top 64. But honestly, a Sky Striker wasn't one of the decks on my radar. But that's exactly when it does come back into the metagame, is when you're not thinking about that deck completely.
And it's really dangerous, too. Ever since they got linkage, they've been a lot bigger of an offensive threat, not just a defensive threat.
Yeah, definitely having those ways, a lot more tools to access 8,000 damage just with a few cards is something that Sky Striker didn't have before. I mean, they used to go into like the Selene to bring back Effect Veiler and continue their play. Well, they would go Hauka Fibrax into Effect Veiler, into Selene, into Access Code Talker, but now losing that Hauka Fibrax, they didn't have any sort of high impact, high damage, and then yeah, the linkage from Magnificent Mavens really gave them that boost back into the strategy.
Anyway, here, I wonder if the argument is that he wasn't ready to go to the damage calculation, and he's going to say his opponent tried to rush me.
That could be the case. Yeah, we can't hear perfect audio. Really don't know what they're saying in the game, so it really is going to come down to what the judges heard or what they thought, or their interpretation or understanding of this event is.
So if I'm taking this appeal, and I don't have the advantage of watching everything in real time like the table judge did, I would be relying very heavily on what the table judge saw, and
How they interpreted the game.
heard, and how basically their perspective on it. Because obviously the players are going to have an opposite perspective on things here, but you do have a neutral arbiter there at the time watching over it.
Indeed.
So it's one of those things that's just like, not conclusive evidence in football, for instance, where you probably just stay with whatever the ruling was on the field.
Yeah, you need enough to overturn it for sure. I
Exactly.
definitely agree with that. But what I really like about Michael's deck, you go back to this Curry card, Divinacryn in the main deck. It's such a strong card. I haven't got to see one resolve on stream yet, so definitely still on my bingo card that I want to cross off. But it is fantastic against Kashtira, because I mean, during the standby phase, if they trigger Shangri-Ira, there's one monster that's already used its effect.
And a Rise Heart must trigger as well.
If there's another one, and then you can maybe force out, maybe they summon to Fenrir, you force that effect out, and then all of a sudden you're tributing off all those monsters, you get this huge monster on your side of the field. It's really a fun card, and definitely one I've been looking for players to use since its release, and Power of the Elements, I believe?
Power of the Elements. It was even the regional game out, I believe.
Oh yeah, it was so beautiful.
Well,
with
I
the,
saw it over there at the prize wall. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I love
Why don't I have that one?
I love the dragon on it, because you can really like see the zoomed in artwork on that game mat. Really awesome.
And that's another great thing about the YCSs and the prize vault in general, is that I know a lot of people, they missed out on one regional season or another, and they weren't able to get whatever the game mat was for that season. But a lot of times you can find some of those older game mats on the prize wall. So if you're playing in some public events over the weekend, you might be able to snag yourself a nice little bit of history.
Oh, it looks like we have some cool things on display here at the 250 YCS. You're going to see that briefcase up top. We're going to keep your eye on for more information about that in the future. And then below that, you see the quarter century secret rares. These are coming in the Legendary Collection, the 25th anniversary Legendary
So
Collection.
the way this Legendary Collection works, right? It's it's Legendary Collection 1, the original one. You get all 6 of the cards as ultra rares, just like normal, but you'll also get a 7th card in it, and it's one of these 6 in the quarter century secret rare form that you see up there in the case at random.
Yeah, I know I want to get my hands on each one of those Egyptian god cards. I need to get Obelisk, Ra, and Slifer for sure in a quarter century secret rare. It's such a cool new rarity too, and this is just a way to preview it for upcoming things, and it's really, really awesome.
If you couldn't see it closely, in the text box, there's kind of a watermark over it. You know, like how the Speed Duel cards look?
Yeah.
How they have Speed Duel written there. There's a 25th anniversary logo on top of those as well. All right, and it looks like things have resolved here. It seems that Michael was not able to draw 3 cards. The battle phase continues with Ray attacking into Hugin. Ray then tags out, becomes Hayate. Hayate attacks directly via its effect for half damage.
Yep, and since it attacked and did some damage, it's going to be able to send a Sky Striker spell from the deck to the graveyard. Could go for a copy of Widow Anchor, maybe, or, I mean, you could go for Engage, but you usually want to add Engage off of Shizuku at the end phase. Especially because he has the Gamma and Driver on the field, he's not going to be able to activate a Sky Striker spell until they're gone.
Yeah, I am interested to see if anything happens with this Gamma and Driver, or if it just lets them go. Like maybe there's
A Zeke.
Yeah, it could be a Zeke. You could have like an Omega there, which you can keep taking off of your field, so that you can keep using your Sky Striker cards.
Yeah, I love. Oh, it does send down the Engage. I love cards like Omega and Destiny Hero, Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer, as you can use them usefully and still get them off the field to unlock your strategy.
We're in main phase 2 now, swapping out to Kagari. Kagari retrieves Engage. And now we're going to see what we're going to do with these.
Looks like he links Driver and Kagari, probably going for a Zeke here. Zeke's a great way to blink out that Naturia Beast, banish it from the field until the opponent's next in phase.
Going to send the Driver. Activates Engage.
Oh, so he banishes his own Gamma instead of the Naturia Beast so he can activate his Engage. All right,
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense
now we
too.
can get the Afterburners.
Does the Gamma come back? I don't think it will, but maybe it will. Now, Afterburners going to the hand.
You have 2 spells in grave right now?
3 was one.
3 now? Okay.
It's 1, 2, 3.
Attempts activate Afterburners targeting.
Yeah, he definitely wants to destroy. He gets to destroy the Naturia Beast, and since he has 3 spells now, he's going to also take down that Runic Fountain. Navigated really well here for Roman. Going to in-phase Shizuku. Going to be able to add. Can't add Engage because it's in the graveyard, and I think it's only at 1 here. I'm playing too much Master Duel.
Yep.
But going to look at multi-roll or linkage. Yep, he's going to. Oh no, I can't tell if it's linkage or Widow Anchor. I think it makes sense if it's.
That looks like linkage.
Yeah, I thought it was linkage at first, and then I second guessed myself. I think I see Ray and Rose on there.
That's linkage.
We're good to go.
All right, well, now the Sky Striker Duelist has dealt with Naturia Beast.
Amazing.
My main?
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't on my bingo card for this event, but I'm going to add it now. This is something that I didn't anticipate. When we were talking about the matches that started, we were like, oh, Naturia Beast, he's going second. This should be easy for Michael, but Roman's saying no. That's the thing about when you play someone with a dedicated deck. You can tell his heart and soul's in this deck. His favorite card is Ray. They usually are well-versed and well-practiced versus a lot of
I
matchups.
think it's banished, right?
Yeah, see, this is the interaction I wasn't sure about, is what happens with Gamma getting banished, coming back, does it get banished by its own effect afterwards? It's a new monster now, I think. Or it doesn't remember
Yeah,
that it was
it's
summoned
a
by
new
its own
monster.
effect? Yeah.
It's a new monster.
So this could come back to bite him.
You gotta wonder, though, if Michael gets those extra 3 cards off of Runic Fountain, maybe a bit of a different battle phase. Comes up with something to destroy things, like a flashing fire.
Yeah, definitely a lot of ways for Michael to get back into this game. I mean, losing the fountain and not getting to resolve that draw 3 is pretty devastating. He was only sitting on 1 card in hand, but
You're saying because this is summoning it back?
yeah, it makes sense.
Okay,
Zeke
so
summoning
it's
back,
gonna
it just stays on the field.
That's fine. So I already drew. Standby.
Yeah, we're good.
Main.
Yeah.
All right, now we are into Roman's main phase.
Phoenix.
No, Michael just passed.
Trades those 2 out for Nightmare Phoenix. Pitching a spell. Looks like Triple Tactics Thrust to destroy a Naturia's Sacred Tree. That's all 3 trees.
Yeah.
That's going to let him add a Naturia card from the deck to the hand.
So you got to send 2 and drew 1. And he got a card out of Roman's hand in return for an activation of his own for another Naturia Mole Cricket.
To go to battle. 19.
Hits in from 19 via Nightmare Phoenix.
I'm at 52, right?
Yeah. Still in battle. I'm gonna go linkage.
Activates Linkage. Grabs
Hayate.
Hayate.
And then swing.
Hayate attacks as well.
It's going to do a little bit more damage, 1,500. Now he's going to be able to send a Sky Striker spell of his choosing.
He's checking the graveyard to see if he has enough here. Another copy of Linkage in hand, I think will do it. I believe that's what he's checking there. Sending Rose to the graveyard.
Main 2.
Does not. Swaps out for Kagari.
Effect target engage.
Kagari gets Engage.
The classic.
Activate.
Activating Engage. Grabbing Multi-Roll.
Now, he definitely has 3 spells in the graveyard, so he's going to be able to draw the additional card from Engage.
I'm gonna draw 1.
multi-rolls now active. So he won't be able to chain 2 Sky Striker spells. Swapping Kagari for Shizuku.
4.
Was he asking how many cards are in his extra deck? Looked like he is down to only 4 cards. He did use Pot of Prosperity and has gone through 2 cycles of the Sky Striker Link monsters. That is one way to deal with Sky Strikers, trying to run them out of their extra deck.
It's never worked for me in Master Duel because they would always draw their 1-of Pot of Avarice, shuffle everything back in, including just like 1 copy of Ray, and then draw the last Ray off the top every time.
Yep. That sounds just about right. And it looks like since the multi-roll saw 1 spell activated, he's going to be able to set Shark Cannon from the graveyard.
Anything on draw, Brian?
No.
Shark Cannon, Naturia boost?
Just going to immediately flip up the Shark Cannon to go after the Naturia Beast, trying to lock Michael of being able to activate spell cards. Since he has 3 or more spells, Shark Cannon doesn't have to banish. It can special summon it to his side of the field.
Stand by main phase.
Now Runic Fountain and all his Runic quick plays are not going to be online.
End of battle.
Ooh, scariest words in Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
There
Enter
we go.
battle phase, into battle phase.
Well, we know 1 card that's just gone. It's going to be that Naturia Beast.
I wonder why he was so quick to choose the Naturia Beast. I would have at least maybe thought about that the Naturia Beast is going to be banished. I feel like that's not too bad against the Runic deck. But this is huge because, I mean, he does only have the 4 cards in his extra deck. Like, he's low on resources, and now this evenly match can really even the series out.
Main phase 2.
Keep Shizuku. Main phase 2. We've got Mole Cricket.
Interesting. I wonder why he chose to keep the Shizuku. Maybe not having any access to monsters, knowing he needs a monster on the field. Maybe just Ray is his only hope, so he needs to have a Sky Striker on the field, and when it leaves, to bring back Ray. Ray can be troublesome.
Circuit grabs 2 Camellias.
Yep, since Roman has the highest attack monster on the field, able to get 2 instead of 1.
Gonna make a rank 4 with these.
I think if I want to use any effects, let's see.
Yes, indeed, and that is Dugaris.
Jagaris is a pretty strong card. Maybe he's looking to draw into something, doesn't have anything in his hand yet, so yeah, detach 2, sacrificing his next draw phase to draw 2 cards now, and send 1.
Come up with a good one.
Yeah.
Yep, he sends Kurikara. And gotta take a look at that one. You wanna know what that does before you go and activate any monster effects on the field.
Yeah, especially if the main deck, you might be worried about it. Be conscious of it for game 2 and 3, but it looks like Michael did draw into a Runic Tip. So now Roman is going to have to banish the top card of his deck, and Michael can add any Runic card from the deck to hand. Going to go for Runic Fountain. That evenly match was just huge. But yeah, I was thinking if he just keeps the... Oh, but if he kept the Naturia Beast, it would have just gotten destroyed by the Kurikara. So heads up play here from Roman. Now does Michael have another Runic spell? Is it the last card in hand? It is.
He does.
It's Freezing Curses.
I'll do
It's gonna summon Frecky.
Chaining 1 Fountain.
Not Frecky, Gary.
Gary. I also do the same thing. I get those two mixed up all the time.
Those brothers.
They are family. And now we're going to return. Looks like Runic Tip. Nope, he's going to Tip Curses and Slumber.
And then chaining 2 Gary.
And Gary's going to add back the Runic Fountain from the graveyard to the hand.
And yellow, ray, and gray, correct?
Yeah, I think I have 2.
This has been a good game, back and forth. Both players at one point, well, Roman had Naturia Beast, Michael had Naturia Beast, Naturia Beast is gone now, and it is just, it's been incredible. I mean, things are looking really good for Michael now, especially with so many little cards in Roman's deck. He's gonna need to use the Kagari on the back of his sleeves at this point.
How many Kagaris do you have in grave? Is it two?
Kagari check. Only 2 in the graveyard. Still 1 probably sitting in the extra deck. He did use a Pot of Prosperity for 3, but unlikely you're going to banish your own Kagari with Pot of Prosperity.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. But Michael's going to build up even more cards in hand here. Activating Runic Tip to get a Freezing Curses.
Ash Blossom pays the price from the top of the deck.
Ooh, we'd rather have that one in your hand, I think.
And then here, this is a new Runic Fountain, so he's going to be able to draw 3 cards. That's the thing. Once the one Runic Fountain resolves, it's tough. It's tough to catch back up because they're just going to be drawing 3 cards every turn. Sometimes multiple times in the same turn. But he had 1 card that started this turn, and now he has 6 in hand. 2 monsters on the board. Really showing the resilience of the Runic strategy.
Yeah, Roman needed to get in there with the linkage. You need to get all that damage in all at once before Michael had a chance to recover. As they're only going to make that mistake with the fountain once. It's not going to happen again, and they are going to get to another fountain if you can't close out the game.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I'm okay with making mistakes. As long as I am going to learn from it, it may feel bad at that time, but it's going to improve me as a player later on. As long as you're able to acknowledge the mistakes and focus on them and not rationalize them to some other degree. So it looks like a monster left Michael's extra deck monster zone, so that is going to trigger Sky Striker Rose, Ace Rose from the graveyard to special summon back to the field.
Rose hits the field, and
looks like a Starlight one.
It is. Rose attacks.
Michael's got all sorts of phases being skipped in the next turn. He's skipping his battle phase. He's skipping his draw phase. Or I guess, yeah, no, it was the next turn where the Dugara skips. 3 more cards off the top of Roman's
There's
deck.
the rest of the Ash Blossoms.
Yeah. I'll pass.
Nothing from the extra deck. Roman's just going to pass with the Rose and a Shizuku. Let's see if he does
that
Shizuku.
evenly matched was massive, keeping multi-roll off the field.
And in the main deck, I mean, not something we normally see in the Naturia Runic deck, but we've main deck evenly matched been pretty popular here this weekend.
It seems like his deck is just built to just demolish Kashtira. We got evenly
It's a good
matches.
plan going in here.
We got Curry Karas all in the main deck. If he can make it through here and get into that top 64, I think I like his chances.
Yeah, I think the way you design your deck now is really important. You have to be able to read the format, what people are going to be bringing to each specific tournament, because it's always changing, always evolving, and if you can make that right call, you can go quite far.
I'll use
So we got no battle phase, no draw phase.
Flashing Fire Destroyers.
We will continue to have no battle phase.
Flashing Fire is going to take down Rose.
Freezing Curses and Leeches.
I do like that Runic's like backup plan. As worst case, I'm just going to, remove all the cards off the top of your deck until you have nothing left. Fountain's going to draw one.
It's not its backup plan. That is the plan. It's all the other things that are getting splashed into. It was
always the plan.
They've got these other plans. Still 7 cards in hand.
Yeah, once it starts rolling, it's tough to stop.
And notably, you don't have to discard for hand size limit on your opponent's end phase, just your own.
I'm gonna look through this while you... Yeah.
Set one.
All right, looks like Michael's going to set one spell or trap card face down. In phase and pass.
Now, this feels like it's definitely gone into we're just a Runic deck now.
Yep. No need to synchro anymore. Just going to take our time. I mean, Roman pretty much out of resources. Like, losing the multi-roll to the evenly match is like, multi-roll is your big comeback card. It's tough. It's going to be tough for the Sky Striker duelists here to fight back into it. But we're going to see a link summon from Shizuku into Kagari. Going to try and add back one of those Sky Striker spells.
That's going to get negated by Freezing Curses.
See, we also see Roman main decking evenly matched, a popular card to throw in the main deck this weekend, and it was just a super rare in the structure deck. Beware of Trap Tricks.
Oh,
So
change of heart.
in the main deck, is this Bakura or Roman?
Change of heart. Oh, that could be it. What is that last takedown? If Michael doesn't have anything else here,
Yeah, he's gonna need to have some runic spells to survive. He's low in life points. He's only at 3,700.
Time to go to battle.
So he's gonna link away Kagari into Shizuku to get some new monster onto the field.
Try to swing for 12.
Kagari's the one that gains, right? So
Kagari is the one that
he's
gains.
losing attack by switching it out, right?
Shizuka.
Yeah, Shizuku reduces your opponent's monster attacks.
we got linkage.
Chain to summon.
He's gonna use the runic spell to summon a runic monster from the extra deck. It's gonna be Hugin.
All right, so that's going to block this damage.
I think if I want to swing over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll kill it.
Tax it.
Yeah, if I like to come back. Just do that. Main 2?
Yeah.
How many do you have?
5.
Time to go to end phase?
The end phase. The Smiting Stone to banish.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like he is trying to go for the deck out here.
Fountain effects. Draw 3.
Yeah.
But that's going to trigger the fountain, so you can put 3 more runic spells back into the deck to draw 3 more cards.
Yeah.
In phase, it looks like Roman's looking at the few cards he has left in that small stack he calls a deck, and he's going to add, looks like Area 0.
How many cards left in there?
6.
Only 6 cards, that's only a few runic activations
Yeah, that's
left.
not a lot. I suspect that Michael can eliminate those very easily.
Comes back, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And he's forced to give back the Dugaris as well.
Yep, he skipped his draw phase last turn, good to draw this turn.
We're still skipping battle phases, but it doesn't really matter because you're attacking the deck size instead.
Who needs to attack directly when you can go straight after the cards in the deck?
What's that?
And we see Gamma Seal in the main deck here from Roman. That's kind of cool. A lot of main deck techs. That's what I like about this format. Any format where you can take a strategy and then it depends on how you tech your deck out and what key cards you're using to counter other strategies. One of my favorite things about Yu-Gi-Oh! So he's going to use Slumber here to protect Dugaris from being destroyed by battle.
That's 3.
Effective fountain, draw 1.
Yeah.
Just has he's replenished all his quick plays and now he can only do 1.
Now, they've all been sitting on the bottom of the deck. He just needs another runic card. So these decks generally only play 1 copy of Beast, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So the synchro strategy isn't really viable at this point. Just gotta get the deck out. So we're going for
Naturia
Blessing.
Yep, Naturia Blessing. That's going to special summon back Camilla.
How many spells in grave?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 spells, so that means all of his monsters are losing 700 attack.
Thinking.
Michael taking some time to still consider his options with a full grip of cards in hand. Checking his extra deck yet again.
And I don't think he wants to have anything in attack position here. Got a flashing fire.
So
Nope, new fountain.
yep, gonna try and just draw 1 here again, it looks like.
Activate dispelling.
Effective draw 1.
Yeah.
Just looking for 1 more runic spell. 1 more runic spell that he hasn't played yet, does it?
How many cards left?
Now a Synchro Summon coming down.
For 6. That's the Charge Warrior. He's going to draw another card.
Fuck it, Rowan.
Yeah.
What's in an attack position?
Interesting, yeah. With losing the attack, it's not stronger than that Shizuku. Maybe thinking about synchroing with it afterwards. I'm still kind of surprised he
It's
didn't go
got another
for
blessing.
Yeah, that's going to be able to special summon from the graveyard.
So if you get another 4, you can make a Baron. I mean, it wasn't going to be Naturia's Sacred Leo.
I love Leo, though. That is one of my favorite cards. He's even on, like, El Shadal Fusion.
Yep.
I love Leo.
Um,
He was actually played, like, in Shadals back in the day. It was
He
really,
was. Like, there was a time when Leo was the best level 10 synchro.
Some time ago, yeah. Baron has definitely made a high impact here, and that looks like enough. He doesn't even use the Baron to destroy Shizuku, interestingly enough.
and that's including the extension, right?
Now, that's an interesting setup here. We're going to go Area 0, set 1.
I mean,
Probably going to target there with Area 0. Going to try and
Yeah.
reveal the top 3 and thin his deck out. Can you even do it with 2 cards in your deck? I don't.
It depends on
the wording?
The wording.
Looks like that's what they're. I mean, does this matter? I don't know where Roman is going here. What is the end destination?
It's got to be some kind of linkage thing.
Yeah, I think the last card is linkage. He has linkage and effect veiler in his deck, so I think he might be trying to dig for linkage. He does have a Ray in hand.
Yeah, so you can't do it when you only have 2 cards left in it. You can't activate it when you only have 2 cards left in your deck, but if there are only 2 cards left when it resolves, then you excavate whatever's remaining.
As much as possible there at the end.
So you can see here he wasn't able to do so.
Quick catch by our judges. Roman feeling like this game was in his grasp, not wanting to give it up just quite yet. I mean, Michael only has 2,500 life points left. If there's like a Hayate still in his extra deck potentially, he could find a way to get some damage on the board. The Baron does still have ability to negate a monster effect or a spell or trap card, but just going to go with Shizuku to attack over Dugaris and a path. That is the thing about Runic, is like, as long as they keep activating Runic spells, they can't attack you. Oh, but look, decides that 2 cards aren't enough left in his deck, and finally decides to concede game number 1. It was a close one. Like, even though it looked like things were heavily in Michael's favor, there was still like small chances of like that linkage was still in the deck for Roman. Maybe he could have found a way to get that last little bit of damage through, despite Michael having so many cards in his hand.
Yeah, once the fountain got going, that was all she wrote. And you got to be able to destroy it, and there's really not a whole lot of spell and trap removal available to players right now. Well, I mean, I say available to players. Available because it's not in their deck. It's not available, that's why.
There's more removal now available than ever before. Your choice is evenly matched. Lightning Storm is fantastic. Red Reboot, though, gone now. But
You got some Cosmic Cyclones. You could even chain those.
Cosmic Cyclone, one of my favorites against Runic. And you can Master Duel or in the TCG. It's one of those cards, being able to chain from your hand on the activation is huge. If you're worried about some of those continuous trap cards that they also might be playing, you can target those down specifically. And then you don't have to worry with Harvey's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm. Runic really doesn't care too much about those cards because they can just chain one of their quick play spells, special summon a Hugin to the field. Hugin says instead of destroying your cards, you can just banish her instead, and then you get to protect from the Harvey's Feather Duster. Meanwhile, Cosmic Cyclone banishing will make sure you get to get rid of that fountain for good.
That was a very long game 1.
Extremely long, 35 minutes almost.
They will have a bit of a time extension added on for the judge call, however.
That is true. And I do like you can see the players, but just right there on the right, you can see that beautiful 250th YCS trophy. They're just mere feet away from our duelist, and both of them are quite close to making that top 64 cutoff. As we said, the winner of this match, pretty much guaranteed X1 and 1, or 9-1 and 1 locks, or 10-1 and 1. Sorry, I'm used to 11 rounds. We have 12 rounds here, so 10-1 and 1 will lock you into the tournament, the top 64 playoff tournament, more than likely. Meanwhile, if you're 10-2 and 1. 9-2 and 1. You're not going to have exactly that guarantee. You're going to have to rely on your tiebreakers.
You're hoping that there aren't a lot of other people at X2 and 1, that people are winning and losing their final round.
Exactly. So you can see the focus, determination. I mean, they made it all the way here. I mean, we see why Roman came this far with Sky Striker too. He doesn't seem like just your average Sky Striker player. Dedicated, obviously with the sleeves and everything, but it seems expert with it. Like even facing down a Naturia Beast, letting them go second, didn't seem to phase them at all. Now it looks like he's shuffled up. I do love all the sleeves that came in Magnificent Mavens. That's one of my favorite products of all time, just because not only are you getting all these booster packs with really cool cards that maybe you didn't have before and brand new cards, but you're getting a pack of sleeves that you get to use, if not then, maybe later on. And they're all really cool sleeves.
And the Pharaoh's Rares, and some of those gorgeous cards.
I pulled an Elements Hero Neos Pharaoh's Rare, and it's like one of my prize cards now, and I just keep it right there so I can see it. It looks so cool. I want to get the gold sarcophagus.
The gold sarc is great.
That is
a great one.
Yep, and it looks like they are shuffled up, so we are about ready to jump into game number 2. But yeah, I play gold sarcophagus in my branded deck, and I'm just like, one day I'm going to upgrade you to Pharaoh's Rare. It's definitely one of my favorite ones. What's another good? I like the Mirror Force too. I like how the hieroglyphs show up on the Mirror Force reflection.
Pretty nice.
Let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's game number 2. We had a long game 1. We'll see if game 2 is a little bit quicker. Both these decks are a bit on the slow side, though.
So having that game 1 win is massive. So if the time runs out and Roman is unable to get an advantage on the scoreboard, a 1-0 win would become a 2-0 win for Michael.
And it looks like Roman decides to go second again. He is dedicated to this go second Sky Striker strategy, despite seeing the Naturia Beast in that first game.
He loses Ray immediately.
That's not something you want to see, especially if you don't have a copy in your hand yet.
This is tough, because if they draw this match, 9 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw.
2 draw, yeah, 9, 1, 2.
Rather. It's what, 29 points?
I think that's worse than X2.
It's better than X2 and 1.
Oh, okay, so it'll be the next echelon up.
I think a draw would make it.
I think so too.
But you don't want to draw. Like, if you're Roman, you absolutely do not want this person in the tournament with you, because their deck is completely antithetical to yours.
I mean, you have to bank on drawing an infinite permanence, otherwise you're going to have to deal with a fearsome Naturia Beast.
Or I guess on the other hand, Michael would love to play against Roman again.
Maybe he wants to keep him in the tournament. But that fountain is going to resolve to draw 2 cards. Not 3, but still 2 is pretty strong. He has the Munin out there. Munin can give him 1,000 life points during the end phase. And that is what happens. So not as an explosive start.
There's the Cosmic Cyclone.
Just leads with it right away. Yeah, Munin has the effect to stop targeting, but he knows it just has 2 copies of it. Roman, I think you're right. Roman's trying to play this game as fast as possible.
Yep, and he has to go at a disadvantage here. He's down 2,000 points right now.
But he does have Ray. Maybe he has a chance to go into linkage and have that one, just 8,000 damage 1 turn, just goes to battle. This could be it, if he has the right cards.
If he's got enough copies, yeah.
So Ray is going to do 15, tag into Hayate. 15 more.
Yep.
Hayate's going to send, let's see, does he send Rose?
He's looking. Still looking.
Nope, goes for Area 0. So it doesn't look like he's going to be able to finish him off just quite yet. Oh, because he also did gain 1,000 off the Munin. It's going to be a little harder to finish him off when he has that extra life points. With the engage is met by Ash. Roman moving at lightning fast pace, trying to get to that game number 3, knowing the time is against him. Immediately links into Kagari to add back the Area 0. Oh no, he added back the engage, so he's going to be able to do that again. So it looked like he sent the Area 0 because it was a card he didn't want to draw.
Yeah, so he's got Cyclone, Cyclone, Area 0 in the graveyard. That's 3 spells. You get an extra draw here after the Widow Anchor.
This could be the quick game that he needs, actually. It's looking pretty favorable for him. I mean, Michael didn't start with any Naturia cards, just was relying on that fountain. Roman took care of it easily. Now linking Kagari probably into a Shizuku.
We're going to set another card in the end phase, and it's
Hornet
the
Drone.
Hornet Drones.
Used to be like Hornet Drones used to be the Sky Striker spell. Now it's kind of just like a nice option to have if something happens to your monster, but it's still a really powerful card.
I feel like that wasn't usually really the case for Sky Striker itself, but it was everybody else using the Sky Striker cards.
Phantom Sky Blaster was like the big one.
Phantom Sky Blaster. Orcus decks love Hornet Drones.
That's true.
Enter battle. Skip battle.
So skips his battle phase since he activated the runic spells, and that is just going to be it with 2 face-down speller traps. Roman moves quickly into his main phase 1 and links Shizuku into Kagari to try and probably add back, I imagine, Engage.
And that's going to get hit by a Freezing Curse. Vanishing 3. And looks like a copy of Linkage is there.
Gonna link away Kagari, probably go into Hayate.
Battle? 15?
Go to battle, 1,500 more.
Yep.
Now takes the lead here.
What's the timer at?
Where's everything at?
Sends Shark Cannon.
Yep, can't get indecisive here now.
And then links away Hayate into Shizuku.
I'm gonna go end phase. Effect.
In phase, so now Shizuku's going to add a Sky Striker spell that's not in the graveyard, and he's going to go for Widow Anchor. So we probably know he has a copy of Widow Anchor set. He has Widow Anchor, Hornet Drones in hand. And Michael's seen enough. He's ready to go to the next game.
He wants this game 3.
He wants to win. Yeah, he doesn't want to end this game in a draw, it looks like. Makes a lot of sense. But even that was the polar opposite kind of game as what we saw in the first game. The first game was 30 minutes long. This one was about 5. It just shows you how games can go quickly or slowly, depending on how fast the players are, the pace of their play. But, I mean, Michael had a lot less options this time. There was no Runic Fountain staying on the field. That double Cosmic ended things pretty quickly. But, maybe this time, I imagine he's going to go first for the 3rd time. Do you think there's any world where Michael, now that he has the choice in his hand, he'll make Roman go first? I'd assume not with the time winding down.
I don't think so. I think you at least want to be in control of it. Actually, you know what? The argument for it is that you have them go first so that they can't get you with Hayate.
That is very true.
That's the argument for it.
We'll have to see if that is what Michael decides to do. Quick side decking. They both know not too much time on the clock, so they're both really fast about this. Make sure you count. You got to make sure you count your side deck every time. Make sure you got 15 in your side so you don't mess it up.
And this game will begin. It will begin. We're past the point now. If the timer runs out, they have both taken too long to decide to present their deck. And that would be a penalty for both of them, and then the timer would be extended and we'd start the game.
Indeed, yeah. They definitely should get to be able to present by now. Make sure their decks are thoroughly shuffled. A lot on the line. The final round of Swiss before we cut to top 64. Even though it's the last round of Swiss, we have a lot more action coming. I really can't wait to see who is going to walk away with the title. I mean, I was talking to Thomas during the last match when Aaron Furman was playing that Dark World deck. Dark World won the 100th YCS in Long Beach. I would love to see it win 150 YCSs later on.
That would be crazy.
He's got a little more tools, a bigger army than he had then, but definitely still a powerful deck. Card Destruction's still around.
It's more like it's around again.
Again, yeah, came back into the
fold. Spent some time in the void.
All right, they are side decked, shuffled up, and presented their decks to each other. It's game number 3 of the final round of Swiss. After this game, we will be cutting to top 64.
All right, so with the extensions and the extra time added on for the production, we've got 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Looks like Michael has chosen to go first.
Yeah. Effects.
This is not the time to be indecisive once again.
Runic tip. It's going to let him add any runic card.
Effect to summon.
Oh, but he's going to use the effect to summon. Interesting. So that must mean he doesn't have any other runic cards in the hand, I'd assume. You usually want to save tip to just add runic fountain. Now runic tip summons Munin. So he's going to set not a good hand here from Michael. He's going to be able to gain 1,000 during the end phase, but no. Roman says, no, I'm going to effect failure your Munin, so you're not going to be able to gain that 1,000 on me here during the end phase. Incredible. Something you normally don't want to do, but as the clock's winding down, huge. Roman has Ray. He's going to link it away into Hayate. He knows time's running down. He just wants to get ahead in life points. Michael can't stop the direct attack.
Uses the effect here to send something down. It's going to be engage. Main two, we're going to switch out.
Michael's deck just really let him down here in game 2 and 3. Just really wasn't able to get anything started. None of the Naturia cards to really get his strategy online.
And he wasn't able to get the lead in life points either.
He was close. He tried.
I think even with those 1,000, the Hayate gets passed by 500.
Yep.
What's the time at?
Banishing 3,
Ghost Bell.
Area 0, DD Crow.
Yep, definitely not in short supply of those monster effects from the hand when you're using a Sky Striker strategy.
And then we're getting the Area 0 right here.
And that's... Michael realizes he's not going to be able to win this game. He drew so bad here.
That is not a good hand. That is not a good hand.
Yeah, you want to add the blessing. You don't want to open it. Just no Naturia monsters. But
yeah, only way he was winning that one was if he did manage to get the lead there.
Yeah, he put all